Do you have any words of advice to give to a person trying to introduce sex toys into their sex life?
I find myself talking with more and more men as they know that this is my job. It's so interesting how open they are to it and how much they really want to learn and please their partner. And I think that it's all about this preconceived idea that men should just know what to do.
That's true.
Why would they, right?
They don't.
Yeah.
We have to learn to be more vocal and more comfortable in saying what we like and what we don't and what we want. And men appreciate that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, I'm MJ.
And I'm Bree. Welcome to the Keeping It Casual podcast.
I'm married. I'm a mom, so I get it.
And Lord save me, because I am dating.
We're more than just a sex-positive dating and relationship podcast.
We want to share the perspectives on every kind of relationship while giving a voice to our listeners.
Plus tons of tips to boss up your life.
And sex life.
Your Vegas girls are here for you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Good evening. So we have a special Valentine's Day episode for you to remind us all about being intentional with our love, whether it's with a partner or with ourselves.
But first, we need to give a big shout out and thank you to our newest partner, Rose Dolly Lips, all organic cosmetics, woman owned and operated. Go to etsy.com/rosedollybeauty and use the code KEEPERS20 at checkout.
Oh, she's such a new doll. Also to our kitties at Like a Kitten who are gifting you the Purrs Like a Kitten vibrator this month just for rating and reviewing on Apple Podcasts, you guys.
Plus, our bonus Valentine's Day giveaway of the Like a Kitten Valentine's Day box. Patreon winner, that is Miss Beth.
Shout out to Beth. Thank you for joining us for our monthly specialty podcast on Patreon. So you can enter too in our next bonus giveaway just by joining at the $5 level. And links to all that is at keepingitcasualpodcast.com.
And you still have time to grab your sexy Valentine's Day box and get 20% off now. Go to likeakitten.com and use the code KEEPERS20 at checkout.
You know, it's our lead up to Valentine's Day episode, and we couldn't think of a better guest to inspire some intentional intimacy and self-love in our lives than our dear friend from Like a Kitten.
And here today to share her journey of starting a sexual wellness company and how it is changing sex lives across the USA. In her podcast debut, please welcome CEO of Like a Kitten, NATALIE
ANNIS!
Oh, hello, beautiful girls.
Hello,
Oh, my
hello.
gosh.
We are so excited. Okay, so Keepers, just so you know, we talked to NATALIE last, I think it was August. We had like a business meeting and we all decided, we were like, okay, February, you're going to be on our Valentine's Day episode.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about that in August, and I think I've been worrying about it since then. Because like I said, this is my podcast debut, and I've been fretting about it for months.
Oh,
I'm sure people can relate to that.
we don't
I just am
bite.
hoping without anything I say that's ridiculous.
I got you. And you know what? I love what you said in the email. She's like, truth be told, I'm super nervous, but this is the year of the woman, and who would I be if I didn't go for it?
Right? Exactly. That would be ridiculous. You have to challenge yourself and push yourself, especially if you want to be challenging other women to empower themselves.
Exactly.
I must just say personally, we've been working together for like a year, and it feels more like a friendship, but Like a Kitten, just getting the products and getting the spoils and just learning about all the cool tips and tricks you can put in your naughty drawer next has changed my sex life with my husband. It has truly inspired it and taken it to a next level. Like
Really?
100%. Absolutely. Like
How
Bree,
so?
I share stories with Bree like off the podcast. And I mean, we've broke out the pleasure hunter. He was like, get the flogger. He was messing with the new Purrs Like a Kitten. And he's like, this thing bends. And he gets excited. Like, go get a toy or go try one of those lubes. He just knows we have so many things to play with. The flower plug. He made me break that one out. And I was like, oh.
I love it.
Fun. Try all kinds of things.
And when you're me and you don't have a partner here constantly, it's nice to have stuff just to occupy your own time to love yourself a little bit more.
Yeah. What's your favorite, Bree?
Okay, so this is so silly. Of the Like a Kitten line, I like the Fly Me to the Moon. But one of my favorite things I've ever got in a Like a Kitten box was the bath bomb. That little vibrator in that bath bomb. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right?
Before we signed on to Like a Kitten and stuff, I was always using my wand. I had a wand, I had a magic wand, and nothing could beat the magic wand.
Yeah.
I mean, those are a tough, like, once you start magic wanding, it's really hard to go anywhere else, I feel like.
Oh, so good. They're so fun. Yeah.
I love that, like, we have a CEO that we could be like, let's talk sex toys with.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I work marketing company, and I'm their first separate company that they work with, and they said that it has changed the way that they all interact in their office. They talk about sex toys and sex all the time now, whereas before that was a completely taboo subject in their office. And I just love that. I think it's so great.
The office I work at, we have one male that works there who's the main lawyer, who's my boss, and then it's all women. And they know that I have you guys as our sponsor. One girl, she's like, anything you ever want to give up? And I'm like, oh, I don't give up anything, but you can use code Keepers20 at checkout. I don't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she can enter the giveaways.
Yeah, exactly. There are so many ways. But okay, so what inspired you to start Like a Kitten?
I've always been a big proponent of women and equality for women. And honestly, it's kind of a strange story, or a strange starting. I own another business, which is a tool company, like real tools, not sex tools. And
like manly tools, like wrenches and stuff.
Yeah,
Her husband is Tim the Tool Man.
Things. Yeah, and so one of the suppliers we use is in China, and he also manufactures sex toys. And we've been working with him for like 17 years, and he kept asking and saying, "Why don't you consider sex toys? The industry is huge." And when we went to visit him in China, my husband and I, he took us to a sex museum, and it was called 3,000 Years of Sex in China.
Yes.
Crazy. Vagina. And he took us to this museum, and it was just all so cool and interesting. And a couple years later, I just felt like it was the right time, which was 2019. I thought, everything is swinging towards women. The Me Too movement, getting more women into politics, women really standing up, and women voicing their opinions and really feeling more comfortable saying what they want and what they need. And it just felt like the right time. So I contacted him, and we collaborated and created the first line of Like a Kitten Vibes, which is the Explorer series, which I'm sure by that you are looking at and working with and promoting for us. And it's just been great. So it's really helped me to move in the direction I wanted to go. I mean, I've always done different programs for women. One of the things that I really enjoy about Like a Kitten is that a lot of the proceeds from Like a Kitten go to sponsor programs for women throughout the world. Mm-hmm. Currently, we support a school in Nepal in a remote mountain village, and all of the teachers we hire are women from the village. And then we also are in the process of hiring a nurse for that remote village as well. So those are just really great things that Like a Kitten is allowing us to do.
Oh, that gives me chills.
I love it. And this sounds crazy, but like, you came up in the Me Too era and everything. I found you guys on Instagram. This is how I found Like a Kitten. It was just, you had this pop in Instagram, and I don't even know how I found it. But then I saw you guys were looking for people to work with, and I was like, I called MJ and I was like, hey, let's reach out to this sex toy company, but it's not just sex toys, it's sex toy subscription boxes. This sounds so cool.
I'd already hung up and was emailing.
Yeah. You were working with with Tanya, my partner at the time. She's my closest friend from high school. We've been friends since we were 13. And she started with you. And when she contacted me, she said, hey, I've got these two ladies out in Las Vegas. They're killer. I think we got to start looking at podcasts. podcasts, and I had never really thought about it, podcasts. And here
you've changed things for us. Like I hope
have.
we've changed things for you, because we just really have just had so much fun promoting like the vibrators, and we're very about women, female empowerment, and not keeping sex like such a dirty subject, especially when you are single and maybe, all the wild things, being open about it. And then when you're in a relationship and long term, and like how it can go through so many ups and downs, and it makes it uncomfortable, and sometimes you feel like you're alone. So we love talking about sex and not making it in all the ways, but just really to empower people, like, hey, just because it didn't happen this week, it could happen next week in relationships, or there's still ways to get off and take care of your sexual health when you are single. It's important.
I agree.
One of the things I realized what made me love sex toys, and it's not just about, because it wasn't just about getting off to me. Like, I went through a stage in my life where I was celibate for about 4 or 5 years because I had some sexual trauma. And when I needed to introduce like a sexual appetite back into my life, that's where I started with sex toys and stuff. I was like, you know what? If I can figure out how to love myself this way, then maybe I will let another man love me again. You know what I mean? It just kind of like helped me re-explore my sex life after some bad things had happened.
I really love that you said that. I think that's amazing. That is just so powerful that you can find a way to love yourself. And if sex toys help you do that and give you that opportunity to learn what you like and what you're comfortable with, and to reintroduce sex to your body after you've been violated in some way, is one of the things that just make me so happy about sex toys. I don't look at them as something dirty or that needs to be hidden. I think it's something that needs to be out there, and everyone needs to be comfortable with. One of our taglines is mainstreaming masturbation. I want that to be something that everyone is so comfortable speaking about, as comfortable as when we see men masturbating on TV or in a movie. I want it to be that comfortable when women are portrayed in the same way.
You're right. You see tits and ass all the time, but you don't see women masturbating too much in movies. That's very taboo still, know?
I love that you say that too, because I know like there are times when I'll be watching something and I'll see a girl masturbating and I'm like, man, I don't want to see that. And then I'm like, why don't I want to see that? Like I do it a lot. Why does it bother me when I'm seeing this?
You're like,
really watch it. It's beautiful.
It is.
Beautiful. I don't know. I feel like until we can't have equality until that is as common as the idea of men masturbating. Why would anyone think that women have less of a sex drive or desire for pleasure than men?
It's that misogynistic thing that was inbred into our heads for years and years and years. And I'm just, I'm so happy to be alive in a time where everything is moving so forward for women. And, women have nowhere to go but up at this point.
I know, right? It is a good time to be a woman.
And being with somebody who's all about philanthropy. And we have to touch on the fact quickly, you do this with your daughter, which I think is really incredible and cool. And your husband is very supportive. And it's just Shay, right? Shout out to Shay.
Yeah. Hi, honey. Yeah. She is 20. She's a college student. She honestly, when we did our first video shoot for Like a Kitten with her, she had just turned 18. And those first videos, if you look at our site, and the first photos and the shoots, everything that we did at that point was really all about the pinup era of the 1940s, kind of the World War II pinup era. And what I love and why I chose that and what I love about that era is that is the first time that women were portrayed in a way of being powerful, like the Rosie the Riveter, sexy and powerful. And they did it on their own terms. That was the first time women really chose to come out in a sexual way that was still tasteful and classy and in their own terms, that portrayed them as being smart and strong and funny and sexy and all of those things. And it wasn't a man's idea of what a woman should be. It's what women thought they should be.
Yes. That's the time when we had the All-American Female Baseball League. Baseball's my favorite sport, so I'll bring it up randomly.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that was just the first time that I felt, that I looked back in history where I felt like women really grabbed it.
Yes, and I feel the 60s were a very big time, 60s and early 70s when women did that. So if you ever need like a long-haired hippie flower child, I will totally be your model.
We're there.
I'm totally up for that, because next year's series, Women in the 60s.
Oh, We're here for all your decades of love.
My writing mentor is the world's most famous groupie, Miss Pamela Des Barres, and we just interviewed her last week on the show. So if you want to talk about a woman from the 60s, a historian from the 60s who is just a huge feminist, she's definitely one of them.
So great. So I'll stand shoulders of women like that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So I'm very curious as to, I know how much just like, you don't really realize like how can a product or how can like a subscription service with sex, you're like, okay, I have one, I'm fine. It's like, but all the different things that I have now have really changed my sex life. How about yours personally? It has to have like taken you on a 360.
Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. So when I finally, and my husband and I worked together at the other company. And when I told him, hey, I think I'm going to take Tim up on his offer to collaborate on some sex toys and start a sex toy company, initially he was like, I don't know, we live in a pretty small town, But as we got further into it, he just became as about it as I am. And I guess maybe sort of excited just because of the research and development aspect. But he's so supportive. He actually was one of our models for the Christmas box. One of my
box.
He is the guy in the Christmas couples box.
That's awesome.
Picture on the box. He did it with one of my close friends from high school. They modeled for it, and so he's fully on board. And he's so great and willing to try anything. And he's always been very open. But this is a whole other level. He's so good. I'm very lucky.
My husband too, he's always been very open with things, and he's kind of like, he's down to try anything. And when I see him more like, okay, what do you have now? Do you have that? I saw that thing you had in the box last week. Like, what is that? Would you bring that over here? And I'm like, okay. I love seeing him kind of get excited about it. There's not always pleasure hunter. Hello. He was ready to like, let's whip it out. Okay. 3 different attachments.
Yeah. That's favorite at my house as well.
And not only that, but like some of the attachments have so many multiple things, like the clit simulator / nipple simulator. I was telling, I think I was telling you and MJ, you can take it and put it at the base of a penis, and then you have like a little vibrating blowjob toy too, like incorporated into to make your man feel, if you have a man who's like intimidated by sex toys, like put the pleasure on him first and let him see like, this is how good it makes me feel too.
Totally.
I love the way you're saying, like, if somebody's nervous about sex toys, that's a great way.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's a great way. Do you have any other like words of advice to give to a person trying to introduce sex toys into their sex life with their partner or partners?
I find myself talking with more and more men as they know that this is my job. And it's so interesting how open they are to it and how much they really want to learn and please their partner. And I think that it's all about this preconceived idea that men should just know what to do.
That's true.
Why would they, right?
They don't.
Yeah.
We have to learn to be more vocal and more comfortable in saying what we like and what we don't and what we want. And men appreciate that. And I've found that even more than talking to women, I find it super interesting and fun to speak with men, because when I start telling them things, I'll say, one of the great things about sex toys and why you want to introduce those is because more than 60% of women can't have an orgasm through penetration alone.
True.
Nope.
And every time I say that, they're like, what? And I said, yeah. So, if you want your girl to be having frequent orgasms, you think about introducing sex toys, because what that means is more sex for you.
True.
The more she wants it, the more and then they're like, that's a very good point.
When you tell men that stat, I feel like it breaks their heart a little bit, because they go back in their head, they're like, I've had that many faked orgasms in my life. I thought I was doing great.
Oh, I know. And many of them don't know where the clit is, because let's face it, it's not easy to see, especially if you're doing stuff in the dark.
Yeah.
We're big advocates of oral sex on this show. So like in episodes, I'll just be like, men, please go down on women more.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. And I think that is a great time to introduce like a vibrator to your female. I think what you said too, Natalie, is probably give a lot of guys like, yeah, we don't know know. How are we supposed to know what to do with that thing? You know, sometimes I look at him, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? You know?
It's all confused in there with all those other little tiny female parts, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then you got this toy and you're like, where do I put it? Do I put it in there? Do I just put it on the top? What do I do with it? So that is, I think for females, like a good little slide in would be like, have him watch you masturbate. Text him something, just be like, I want to show you something later or something, and just show him how you use that toy. That way he's watching, let him masturbate too. And then he's watching and sees exactly how you like to use that toy. And then gentlemen, when you're going down, you break that toy out and incorporate both, and you might just get a face full of love.
I am a big advocate for mutual masturbation, so you can show each other how to please each other. I am just a huge advocate. I think mutual masturbation is sexy as hell. Like that's just that's like one of my favorite things.
Good. I mean, like sexting, love it.
I love sexting.
That was another question we also have. I remember you told us that your husband and you guys have been together since college. You're college sweethearts.
Yes. Yeah, we've been together 28 years.
That's
in
amazing.
December.
And she has a sex toy company and they're thriving. This makes me so happy. Like, it's just the goal.
It makes me so happy too. It's just so good. And it only just gets better because we know each other so well and we're just comfortable. And I think one of the things that has really helped and that I would give advice to other couples, especially young couples, is just say what you're thinking. You know, like when you're having sex, if you're using a vibrator, if you want it moved to a different spot or you want more or less pressure, just say it. Yeah. Women, I mean, you'll find that your partner, your husband, any partner they really want you to be happy and they want to do it in a way that makes you happy. You know?
Yeah, be a little bossy. Be
a little bossy.
Okay. So, MJ, do you and Chris have any special Valentine's Day plans?
Actually, we decided to spend the night in with the new Like a Kitten Valentine's Day couples box.
Well, Cupid is the mythological god of desire, affection, and erotic love. So I'm happy your night will be more than flowers or an overpriced dinner.
Oh, and I'm going to make myself some dessert with him because I got chocolate body paint out of the box too.
And strawberry lube.
Yum. There's also a 10-speed heart-shaped vibrator with the C-ring, which provides some vibes for me and my man.
Don't forget about that satin robe or pink baby doll lingerie. You get your choice of one.
I know. When I saw that pink lingerie, I was like, ooh, let me just drip in that, okay?
That's how I felt about that satin robe. I was like, I need that to match my pillowcase.
If you want a chance to win this box, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or join our Patreon at the $5 level because somebody's getting hooked up this month.
And if you can't wait to get your hands on a special treat, go to likeakitten.com and use code KEEPERS20 at checkout for 20% off your entire purchase. And now, back to the show.
So you and your husband, college sweethearts, that's incredible. So how do you handle kind of the ups and downs and the lulls of that sex can take in a long-term relationship? How do you process and work through those?
I think that it's important. Dates are important. You know, you're busy with work and other things, life, kids, whatever you have going on. Dates are important. Right now, my husband and I are down in Florida. Shay is watching her two younger brothers so we could have a little getaway for a few days.
Yes.
And we've been spending some time together. We've been biking a lot on the beach. We've just been going out for nice dinners and just really enjoying each other's company. It's so important to do that and remember who you are as a couple instead of letting life get in the way. I think that's really important.
That's beautiful. What I hear the beach all of a sudden. I'm like, I'm zooming in on beach noise. I hear the waves crashing, but what part of Florida are you in right now?
I'm on the Gulf Coast near Tampa, Clearwater Beach.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm from South Florida, so I was.
You are?
Yes. Yeah. From Fort Lauderdale and Miami area. Yeah.
I love it here.
A relationship with yourself is the most important. What tips can you share for women who have never tried a vibrator?
Start with something, I would say, don't be intimidated. I think it's nice to, if you're intimidated, to go into a store to order something online and maybe start with something simple like a bullet.
You know, I think a bullet is a great one. The one that you had put in the couples box, that's a very good bullet. And it's not
that thing is powerful.
It's powerful, but it's not just a starter bullet, but it's a good starter bullet as well.
Yeah, I think try a bullet. Don't forget about lube. Try a little lube.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of lube.
Maybe something that has some kind of heat properties, little stimulants silent, something like that. I think that's good. And because you need to learn what you want for yourself, what makes you feel good. One that I really think is great for beginners is the purrs like a kitten vibe. Because you can use it internally, externally, you can grind on it, you can do whatever.
You can fold it up and it's a G-spot toy or it's a clitoral toy between the two kitty ears. Yeah, that's a great one.
You'll see that in our Purrs Like a Kitten video coming up, that like I had no idea it bent, because the first time we used it, Chris was using it on me and Bree bent it and I was like, what? It bent?
I was like, look, it's a G-spot toy too. And she was like, what? And I was like, I mean, I played with it that way.
She's like, I thought you used it. I said, yeah, but Chris had it. I didn't know he was having a blast with that. I was like, oh man. But that is a great one. The Purrs Like a Kitten is so sunny.
That's a good starter one, and it's cute. It's not a scary toy.
I do want to say, you know, what Like a Kitten specializes in these really incredible sensual subscription boxes, or they have these standalone boxes. But after using it for a year, I can definitely attest and say, like, every season when I got a new box, it added something new to my collection. Honestly, it started from a beautiful flower plug to floggers. There's really cool games, these vibrators that do different sensations, and even the pleasure hunter, it's like a vibrating anal beads. I mean, the sexual toys and fun is just like, it's really taking my relationship to the next level. So I adore you and I appreciate you for all of it.
I adore you. I'm so happy to hear you say that. Thank you.
Yes. And one of the other great things about it is it's not just about the sex toys. It starts with a little bit of self-love. There's bath oils that you can use, and then you put your pheromones on so you're feeling your sexiest, and then you can use earrings, the robes. Jewelry. Yeah, there's all types of ways to make you feel like your sexiest, most empowered self. And I'm a big advocate for pheromones because I wear them every single day.
Yes, but saying that, I love that.
And you know, this is the first time we've ever said, hey, let's interview one of our sponsors who's really turned into a friend. And just because we believe in like what you're doing so much, you know, part of proceeds go to charity. It's a mother-daughter team, and we just really think you're doing amazing things for women, and we wanted to spotlight you for sure.
Yes,
thank you. And we look forward to the next, 75 years of working with you.
Oh, you do. You have my heart. I love you.
Please share your website and what people can also get from it. You have beautiful blogs too, and then we'll say la vie.
Yes.
Yeah, head to likeakitten.com. We have individual vibes. We have 4 right now in the Explorer series, and then we have quarterly subscription boxes that are coordinated with the seasons, and there are many standalone boxes as well, including breakup, bridal, birthdays, signature box, anything you can think of. Right now, the Valentine boxes, we have 2 different Valentine boxes, one for couples, one for singles. So there's a lot of fun things on there.
And a 20% off, Keepers 20.
Keepers 20 at checkout. Natalie, you are a star. I hope you know that. I know you've been nervous, but you have done so amazing. All of our episodes, we just want it to be like sitting down talking with your girlfriends, and that's what we did tonight. So I hope the nervousness is over and you're like, I'm going to be on every podcast now.
I feel so good right now.
That's goals for Natalie. She's going to be popping on all the podcasts everywhere. We were the first.
I'm hoping that I can come and see you as soon as everything gets under control here with COVID.
Yes.
We're going out, girl. That's for sure. Kitty's on the prowl.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. We love you.
We appreciate your time. And you guys, we're all going to say bye. And until next time,
bye.
Bye.
Want to be featured on the show? Email us feedback at keepingitcasualpodcast.com.
Want to win cool stuff? Just rate and review us on Apple Podcasts to get into our monthly giveaways.
Last Wednesday of every month. And for more specialty podcasts and bonus content, join us on patreon.com/keepingitcasualpodcast.
Show you're a keeper on Facebook. You can like the page and join our group.
Tweet at us at KICPod or Instagram at keepingitcasualpodcast.
You can find me anywhere at MJ Radio Diva.
And I'm everywhere at Breemixed, BREEMIXED.
And for your one-stop shop, keepingitcasualpodcast.com. Bye.